ideal fishing locale can be half the fun. Fishing buddies Hobart Manns and Ted Marks find that a certain area in southern Oregon has become the nirvana of warm water fishing. River's End Lake near Lakeview, Oregon has been transformed into a body of water where you are guaranteed some of the best fun in your Northwest outdoors. Funding of Northwest Outdoors is made possible in part by O'Loughlin Sports Shows. Puyallup, Portland, and the Redmond Sports Shows are proud supporters of public television throughout the Northwest. By Kershaw Knives of Portland, Oregon. Makers of precision tools and cutlery, Kershaw Knives continues to support outdoor programming and outdoor activities throughout the Pacific Northwest. By Northwest Dock Systems of Eatonville, Washington. Manufacturers of Herbs pontoon boats, Northwest Dock Systems supports safe and environmentally responsible enjoyment of the outdoors. In last week's show, Northwest anglers and friends Hobart Manns and Ted Marks traveled through Central Oregon on their way to River's End Ranch near Lakeview, Oregon to fish for largemouth bass and rainbow trout. On their way down, they stopped at the ghost town of Shaniko to see what life was like at the turn of the century. They viewed the grandeur of Smith Rock State Park, and they looked around the Summer Lake wildlife area. Upon their arrival at River's End Ranch, they didn't waste any time wetting a line. Although they landed some fish from shore, there wasn't anything of size. So this week we pick them up on the waters of River's End Lake, trying their luck again for largemouth bass and rainbow trout.
It doesn't like you. Ooh, it's one of them big mouth puppies. You're just gonna have to give it a little more line up here. Look at that yippy skippy.
Well, that's acceptable.
Yes, it is. First cast, good lure. Well, we got him out. We're gonna put him back in. These little pounders seem to be the wave of the future. We know that Daddy's got to be out here someplace or we wouldn't have fish this size. So let's keep looking for a bigger one.
I wonder if somebody was biting on him there. See that slash on the side?
Could be. Them bigger ones will pick on you. You catch another one on that rooster tail on him, I'm going to have to buy one.
Would you lose yours?
No.
Oh.
But the shallow water and the shelfy stuff that we're on just might be the trick. It's kind of unusual to find a lake with this much brush and submerged gear in it in Oregon. This obviously was an island or a little bar at some point, had a lot of willows on it that have been submerged now and the renovation of the lake. But it's the ideal structure for bass. They like this sort of thing. They can get in there and hide. Little bugs and critters fall off of the trees and drop in. It gives them shade and stuff around those roots. And they'll pack in there pretty hard. If you were in southern waters, this would be what you'd be looking for. Hope that it stays there. And it was intelligent of the owners of the place to leave this structure here to help propagate the bass situation rather than just cut them down, throw them away.
Yeah, down south, they go and put that kind of structure in the lakes when they build some of those lakes. Fish on.
Such a nice calm, what?
Fish on.
It was supposed to be a calm morning. That one's got some body to it.
Yeah, it feels like it.
Well, so much for that conversation. Here we are. It was a nice, calm day. We decided to come out here on the lake and use the boat and fish some of these brush piles. And it seems like every cast we're getting somebody here. That is a bigger bass, I think.
Yes, it is.
Or a bigger fish.
He's got some body to him.
You ready to lip this one by yourself?
Well, yeah. don't let it affect your lower lip.
Here, I'll get him for you. I'll get him for you. Oh yes. Let's get that baby right over here where I can get them treble hooks on my hand.
Decent looking bass.
There's no
Love
fish.
it.
That fish is about 14 inches. Dandy.
14.
3-year-old fish, probably. We got that one off the hook now, Ted, and get it up here. You want to give it a kiss goodbye or talk to his big brother?
Bye, sweetie pie.
You look just like Jimmy. What's his name? I'm going to put a little smelly jelly extra help on there. You never know what it'll do. It isn't going to hurt anything, that's for sure. A little extra attractant.
Why don't you just put a little residue off your finger off on mine then?
You're catching enough fish without help. You're catching far too many without help.
More than I'm allowed, my share, you mean?
Oh yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
They like scent, and they smell 1 part in a million. We smell 1 part in 1,000, and if we can enhance our chances with a little extra on the lure, a little dab behind the ear won't hurt a thing. Come on, Will.
Ooh, did you see that? That fish came right up, he's right here. He just came right up right here. My God almighty. He just came right out of the bottom and grabbed that son of a gun.
There's another one over here. Doubles on bass, largemouth bass. How long have we been waiting to do this? The Beavis and Butthead of fishing go out and get doubles on largemouth bass.
That was so beautiful.
And they're getting a little bigger too. Oh, they're getting a little bigger.
A little dab will do you.
Smelly jelly strikes again and again and again.
Oh, come on, little feller. I don't want to hurt you. Bye. Man, Hobart, my line was out here about 5 feet. He just
Mine
came right.
is too, and I wasn't trying to catch one fish just now. There it is.
Goodbye.
This is the greatest, absolute greatest largemouth fishing I've ever seen in Oregon. Some bigger fish, but not by numbers. Not a fish a cast. It's incredible. These fish, every cast, every other cast, and they seem to be getting slightly bigger. Now we got that loose, we're going to take it out of his mouth here. Try to get a second grip on it. That fish is probably 14 and 15 inches. Nice 1.5 pounds, close to 2 pound fish. Not Jimmy Houston style either. How's that fish, Rick? You like that big baby? Put it back in its real world. Bye. When fishing high desert lakes that contain a combination of both bass and trout, we have been using with great success these lures. When fishing water that's slightly tea-stained, we're using these brown or bronze-colored rooster tails in 2 sizes, 1/4 and 3/16. We have a shyster with a brown finished blade. We're using Z-rays. You notice we have a red, green, and purple, but the black color, the darker color, because it shows up, again, in the stained water far better. We're also using an 1/8 ounce Brewer slider head in conjunction with a brown-colored ringworm from our friends at Smelly Jelly. These products are scented with bait. They smell like crawfish. This combination of lures in a lake that contains both trout and bass in stained water is the combination that will get the fish. They homesteaded this property about 1890, over 100 years ago, and this was an 1,100 acre wetland marsh. The original homesteaders drained the lake and kept it that way until about 5 or 6 years ago, when the new owner, Oliver Spires, put in a new dam and brought the water level back up to its original wetland area, and is using it both as a wetland refuge and a fishery. What makes this lake so spectacular for largemouth bass, like that, where'd he go, is, there he is. Well, that's a rainbow. Well, that's a bass, that's a rainbow. It's a big fish. He's in the brush pile. What makes it so spectacular is this lake is so nutrient rich. 4 years of insect growth, vegetation. Get out of the brush. Fish like this don't come along very often these days. There he is. They are just gorgeous. You should be able to just reach in
right here
with this. I needed that. Is one fine, beautiful rainbow. We're going to keep this one for the table. Normally we'd turn them loose, but the owner said we could keep one for dinner, and we are going to have you for chow tonight. You're a beautiful fish, and thank you, fish, for being here. They don't get any better than this. What happens with a 4-year-old lake like this is it has so much natural nutrient value in the water that there's an explosion. You've got nitrogen and phosphates and all the minerals and everything that's needed to create vegetation, and the vegetation brings the additional insect life, and that insect life supports rapid growth by these big fish that we're seeing. These bass in here are just exploding in numbers, and obviously there's some bigger ones around than the ones we've caught, because these are not even into the reproductive size yet, or just barely approaching it. It's just an immaculate thing to see this many big fish in such a neat water. You're out here and you're fishing this place alone too. That's even better yet. Can't believe it. Drive 400 miles to this kind of fishing. I'd drive 1,000 to get here. As it drops in, there should be a strike right in that.
Their strike is there. Oh.
Sometimes we're trying to cast into tight little spots or underneath some brush. We'll use a flip cast or bow and arrow cast. Just pull the tip of the rod back, hold the lure, and release it. You get a nice little controlled cast. Goes right where you point it. And with any luck, we get a fish out of that little pocket. Sometimes you're in tight brush and you can't cast overhead. That little underhand bow and arrow trick will allow you to cast on a direct basis to a target, point the rod tip at the target, hold the lure, depress it, release it, cast right out to your point of impact. See if we can't get a fish coming across there.
It did.
Well, that's nice. It's predictable. Predictable. I love it. Cast over there. Whap. It's like guide time. Ooh, he brought his own salad.
Yeah, he sure did. Not a big one, but he is a bass.
Okay. The water in this lake is kind of a tannic or a tea-colored. I think it comes a little bit from the alkalinity and also from the decaying vegetation that's in the lake. But that decaying vegetation, again, is part of the chain that creates the nutrient for all these fish. You can certainly see a lot of stick-ups and stuff in here. It's got kind of an off brownish or tea-colored cast to the water. but it seems to be the trick for holding those fish. Oh, yes, right by the boat. He came up and grabbed that puppy.
Did he?
Right there.
That's one of them, maybe 3-pounders there.
Well, I think I can enter this one in the tournament. I'd keep him on a scale if I was a tournament bass fisher.
Yeah, that is a good bass.
I saw how they make him tail walk and then jump. Is you hold his head out of the water for just a moment, and then you wait a half a second, and then he'll finish by taking a jump. Want to see that again? Want to jump again for the camera? One more time. Get your head out of the water. Now, jump.
Yump and yamity.
Get him up here. Oh. That's getting closer to the size we're looking for.
Yep.
Something I can put my whole hand into.
Old bucket mouth.
That's a beautiful fish. Wish you folks were here with us. You could be catching fish like this almost every other cast or two. And this fish probably weighs 2.5 pounds, and it's not one, again, that we have to make bigger by doing that. Oh, be good, baby. Find me a big one.
Thanks for the shower.
Rivers End Ranch is located about 8 hours south of Yakima. Designed as a destination fishing ranch, the mountains reach to the sky on one side, and to the other, well, 1,100 acres of some of the best warm water fishing in the Northwest. With the nearest neighbor miles away, Rivers End offers complete solitude. While the ranch is able to accommodate many guests at one time, it offers all the luxuries of home, with a full kitchen and even a large screen TV. So if your desire is to travel, fish, and relax, Rivers End Ranch could be for you, because the lake is just a stone's throw away.
Days that you'll be out bass fishing that you'll ever have better than what's going on in front of us right now. Every time we pull into a new place or a likely looking area, we're managing to pick up 1 or 2 nice fish. And really, folks, it just doesn't get any better than it is today. Ted and I, who've been skipping school together, as we said earlier, for about 40 years going fishing, if we'd have known this was here, we'd have probably never graduated from anything, would we? But the teachers would have known where to find us, out here. Pick this up. Oh, I see a spot I want to get to. Every time you turn around, there's a little crack or pocket that you want to put a lure into. Huh! Fish. And he followed it right up close to the boat, and there's some weight to him. I don't know what he is, but he didn't strike very far away from us. Nice, average.
Oh, it's a Hercules fish.
Hercules, huh?
Yeah, small but mighty.
How about largemouth?
Or mighty small. One or the other.
I'm gonna name them Cleo fish. They really hammer that lure. You'd think they'd be so much bigger than that, the way they hit that thing.
Well, I got a fish on here.
Fish on? Oh, you don't catch fish. They want to take a look at you. He came right up out of the water and said, "Boy, howdy, look at me. I'm here and I can be everything you want me to be."
Yeah. Come here, little feller. Don't you be hooking me now. Nice fish. Goodbye, little feller.
the fish are telling us something too. We've caught 2 species and a couple of casts, and there's another one right there that's a nice heavy-bodied fish. And they're all laying just in the shady side of this brush pile. They're not out in the sun, they're in the shade. Now, I don't know what this is, but he's got a lot of pull. Could be a bass, could be a trout. We haven't seen him up here yet.
I like that lure you got. I like that.
That's another one of those dark-colored rooster tails. But these fish are heavy-bodied, and they just don't want to come up out of that shade, that darker water. Nice little bass, probably another pounder.
That's a good lure you got there.
He's going to jump here in a second, I'll bet you.
We got a double going again, folks.
2 for the price of 1.
Whoa.
We could keep on doing this for a long time, TM. How often can you do that? How often? Oh!
Oh, they want to dance.
Come to the dancing fish. Watch a bass dance. Well, let's land these 2 fish and see if we can do that again. This is more fun than fun. How else could a person go fishing? Where else could a person go fishing and do what we've been doing today? I know we have to quit, but if we're going to have to quit, Ted, why don't we quit on a double? Both of us a cast.
That is
a fish,
wonderful.
Cast a fish.
How about that, partner?
You want to shake my hand? No. I got to get this.
That's a good one.
I got to get this fish back to the water. We've had the best days fishing since we started skipping school.
Oh, you got that right. Give me those pliers.
Give me those pliers. Okay. Back to the water with this fish. About 4 casts and about 4 fish is something else. You don't do that very often. Ha!
What?
Did you see that?
Did
You see this?
Did it come out of the bottom?
Do you see the end of the line? That's how close the fish was to the boat when he took my lure and went away. I mean away. Gone. Adios, rooster tail.
Did he snap off your rooster tail?
And that's all the line there was when I was reeling it out of the water when he
That's what happened to me.
Well, that fish just took my brown rooster tail, and I've got a gray one here, so I'm going to tie this on, see if it will work as well. And if not, we'll have to try something else or buy one from Mark. Gosh, they get expensive when I buy from him.
Mine's a little bit darker, though.
Payback for years of doing the same thing to him like that. We're going to put this on. We're going to get out of this brush pile here in a second and go back to the other side. But let's hope we don't have any more of those close to the boat strikes. I want to keep this for a while.
The falls. Hello. Wallow.
That's like down south. Just pop that puppy in the brush in there, let it drop. Sometimes when you're trying to get underneath brush piles, I know what I want to say, and I still haven't got a spot I can throw it to. Sometimes when you're trying to get underneath or in tight little spots in brush, if you take a bow and arrow cast, you can sling it right up there in the trees like I just did and get snagged.
Thank you, Hobart.
Don't do that.
On the next Northwest Outdoors, go fishing for big Columbia River sturgeon near the Bonneville Dam. Funding of Northwest Outdoors is made possible in part by O'Loughlin Sports Shows. Puyallup, Portland, and the Redmond Sports Shows are proud supporters of public television throughout the Northwest, placing an emphasis on education for the great outdoors. By Kershaw Knives of Portland, Oregon. Makers of precision tools and cutlery, Kershaw Knives continues to support outdoor programming and outdoor activities throughout the Pacific Northwest. And by Northwest Dock Systems of Eatonville, Washington. Manufacturers of Herb's pontoon boats, Northwest Dock Systems supports safe and environmentally responsible enjoyment of the outdoors.